Hello everyone and welcome to the Arctic Retro Computer channel. In this video I'm going to take a look at this one. It's Commodore 64 and I had a lot of Commodore 64 restoration and repairs video on my channel before. However, I thought it might be interesting to see another one. Some of you guys can't get enough of the Commodore 64 machines like me, so let's take a look at this one and see what we can do to it.
This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you are a creator and need some PCBs, then you should consider PCBWay.
If you visit PCBWay.com, you can get an instant quote on very good quality PCBs for affordable prices. Besides good quality PCBs, PCBWay also offers CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, 3D printing, injection molding, among other services. So head over to PCBWay and check out their services. So here's a closer look at the machine, and as you can see, it has seen better days. It's a little bit scratched up here and there and very dirty. Yeah, look at that grime over there. Keyboard is very dusty inside between the keys. And if we take a look at the back side, yeah, a little bit scratched up. The label is missing, dirty. But nothing is really damaged and the machine looks to be complete. So I bought this machine recently. I had it in one of my mail and donations videos. Paid like 50 euros, 500 Norwegian kroners. I think the clips on the back side are broken off, at least on this side. Yeah, I can see they're broken off. But the machine is working. Let me turn it on. Yeah, there you go. Working just fine. Keyboard as well. I couldn't find any keys that were particularly bad, but gonna test that more later. But I don't know. I'm just gonna test with a cartridge. I have the final cartridge 3 Plus here. Let's insert that. See if that works. Often it can be that basic works and some things work, but cartridges not. Yeah, no issues with that. But I'm gonna test the machine a little bit more, and I am gonna use the diagnostics cartridge and also gonna use the complete harness for that. And the harness is a set of dongles that you insert in all the different ports, and you also have the wires going between them so that you can test everything, like the cassette port and the user port and the control ports. And this is a serial loopback adapter for testing serial communications. There's also a keyboard dongle in case you don't have an actual keyboard in, but I have that, so I'm not going to insert that. So I bought this machine and the seller didn't know if it was working or not, so I actually got lucky there, even though I kind of hoped that it had a fault so that I could fix it. Alright, let's run through the diagnostics now and see if it has any sort of faults then. Okay, look at that. SID is working just fine and everything is okay here, so This is a fully working machine. So I'm just gonna let it run for a while and see if anything changes. And the clocks on both the CA chips seems to be cooperating here and shows the same value, so that's correct as well. However, the graphics, it seems like it's a little bit, yeah, unfocused, a little bit smeared out, the characters, compared to what I'm used to. So everything works fine electrically, and yes, I'm gonna open it up now and take a peek inside and see if everything looks alright there. It is kind of yellowed. You can see perhaps the original gray on this area. Yeah, and yeah, 2 screws are missing, so someone has probably been inside here before, or the screws have been broken off, or the fastenings. I can hear some loose parts inside, probably some plastics from yeah, the clips. So what do we have here? Broken off, lots of dust, broken off, broken off, broken off. So all 6 clips are broken off, so that needs to be fixed then. Besides that, it actually doesn't look like anyone has been in here before. So I'm thinking maybe this machine was dropped or something that made the screws fall out and the clips crack. Okay. So what do we have here? We have a 1983 Commodore 64. It's a 250-407, and yeah, most of the chips are not socketed. There's a couple of socketed chips. These 74LS 257 chips are socketed, and yeah, one of the ROMs. Well, this looks kind of strange. Look at that resistor network there. It has 2 resistors extra, and they just cut off the 2 pins on the left and placed it askew like that. Strange. Well, let's check out the WIC. The WIC 2 chip. Oh, it's of the ceramic type. Nice. Looks very clean and nice. Gold pins. Yeah. Someone has made a real mess of this heat compound there. Otherwise, everything looks to be in order here. A lot of dust, particularly on this side and this side. Yes, I'm going to take the board out and take a look under it. No screws missing on the PCB, but they were kind of loose, so yeah. That also makes me wonder if this machine has taken a few hits to the floor. The backside of the motherboard just looks fantastic. Actually, there's not much to see here. I can't see any evidence of any rework here. There's some dirt, obviously, and yeah, I can see 2 of the pins for the power switch has not been soldered. Perhaps they forgot. They are not in use electrically, but they are there for stability. Something has spilled over here, just some security glue or something for that screw. Yeah, everything looks just fine. Nothing's corroded or anything. On this side we have the modulator. It's a Mitsumi. It's soldered on there, so I can't get it out. And yeah, other details here. It's assembled in Hong Kong, and I can clearly see that this machine has been used because yeah, a little bit of wear on at least the cassette port. So what do you think about this 2 big resistor network here? Do you think that was factory? The caps, they look alright. Nothing is abnormal. Nothing has leaked. But then again, I have yet to experience leaked or bulging caps on these old Commodore 64's. I have never seen that, in fact. But I might recap it eventually anyway, just to have them renewed. Yeah, and there's a lot of dust. It seems a little bit stuck there as well, and black dirt. So I'm gonna clean this up real good now, and gonna take this down to the garage and just blow it with some compressed air. I don't want to blow here inside my lab when it's as much dust as this. Removing the keyboard, I just want to take it off so that I can clean the case, and yeah, I'm gonna take off all the keycaps as well and clean them up. Yeah, looks kind of gross. Okay, I'm just gonna place these into some hot soapy water for a good half an hour, and then clean it up real good, and then I'll be back. Window cleaner to the rescue. The loose dust is now gone, but there's still a lot of dirt sitting left on the PCB that needs some manual work. Yeah, quite black. These cotton pads are good for flat surfaces, but if you try to clean in between components, then the cotton tends to rip off and stay behind on the board. So I need to use some cotton swabs as well. I'm gonna remove that old thermal paste and replace it with some new. It's, yeah, kind of dried up. Alright, that's a lot better. Some of these edge connectors, at least this one, is a little bit black. And I've heard that using a rubber is the way to go on these. So I stole one from my son. Yeah, that actually seems to work. Sometimes I have used a fiberglass pen, but obviously that's a little bit too abrasive, and it will remove the gold plating on these connectors. Then I guess some electronic cleaner will do. Yeah, those cleaned up completely. Very shiny. And a little bit of electronic cleaner in the contacts as well. And the switch get a little spray as well. Yeah, and that beautiful VIC-2 chip, yes, it's a 6569R3 from week 28 of 83. Very nice chip. I think that was it for the motherboard cleaning. I'm now gonna concentrate on the keyboard. I blew away most of the dust, but still it's kind of dirty under the keycaps, so I'm gonna remove all those and clean them up. Yeah, and here's one of the plastic clips that's been broken off. Time to do some keycap pulling. Oh, this can be very stuck, and these are. Oh, shit. Okay, it flew. So this was an exceptionally hard keyboard to remove the keycaps on. So I guess I need to have to struggle with this a bit. Some of them are easy, some not. I'll be back when I have got them all off. Wow, that was really hard to get off all those keycaps. I nearly broke my hand, I guess. And yeah, it went well. I'm just gonna clean the whole plate here. I'm not gonna take off the back plate and do anything underneath, because the keyboard seems to work just fine. As usual, the space bar has a larger spring than the others, so I keep that separately. And we have this metal support that you need to be careful to take out. Yeah, and a good amount of dust bunnies. I already removed a lot. I vacuumed the keyboard, but there's still some spot with some dirt. Yeah, something has leaked down this keyboard. Just gonna clean it off with some alcohol. Alright, I was thinking about recapping this. Just need to check if I have all the capacitors. I made a little drawing on what I need, and yeah, there's 12 of the same value, 16 volts, 10 microfarad, and 4 of 25 volts, 10, and then you have these large ones, 1470, 2200 and 100. Alright, I think I found all the caps, not the exact same specification. I have a 35 volts, 470, it should be at 25 volts, but I don't think that's a problem. And some of the 10 microfarads, I have only 25 volts when there are 16 volts caps on the board, but that will be okay too. Alright, let's take out some of the caps. And in with a few new ones. And of course it's important to get the caps in the correct way with the right polarity, and is marked with an arrow against the minus, and yeah, there's plus on the board, so we know it's this way in. Then of course a little bit of soldering, a little bit of flux first. Alright, and that looks okay. The rest of the caps I'm just gonna do off cam, and there's not much to show there. Only difference here is that inside this box for the video circuitry, there's two caps with a lower profile, and I actually got a couple of low profiles here, so they're gonna fit. Yeah, and I'll be back. Alright, there we have it, all new caps. Nice red ones and black and blue. Looking good. So I'm just interested to see how the old caps actually are. They are probably all good, but still interesting to see how they are in value now. So this is the 470. Yeah, 480. That's pretty good for an old cap like that. But in my experience, the caps used in the Commodore 64's, the old machines, they are still good for the most part. 2200. Yeah, 2400, so that's around 10% off. This one, 1000. Yeah, 990, that's also good. Let's check some of these smaller ones, the 10 microfarads. $11.5, yeah. So still some life in these caps. The restoration is almost coming to an end. Let's just test and see if it still works. Yes, it does. Nice. We didn't damage anything then. The keyboard has been cleaned and all the keycaps came out really nice. However, I noticed that some of the springs have a little bit of surface corrosion. Not a lot, but as you can see on this one, there is some there, and yeah, I'll try and scrape that off, and then I just use a little bit of a WD-40 on this. Using the fiberglass pen here. Yeah, in fact, a lot of the springs has corrosion, and once that has started, then it won't stop. So, yeah, it's important to try to reduce it or stop it. So this is gonna take a while to remove, and then I'm gonna place them in some vinegar. Actually, I found an easier way. I'm using this small metal brush here on this little tool. And that does a really good job on removing that corrosion. Then some 35% vinegar. Just leave those there for a little while. Smells lovely, and it actually clears the air in a room if you place some vinegar in a container. Yeah, and you actually can see it starts bubbling around where the corrosion is. However, after using vinegar and you rinse it off with water, you should be very quick to dry this off with yeah, air or alcohol. Oh yeah, now that's bubbling away real good. Some chemical reaction that I don't know too much about, but seems to work. So I'll leave it there for at least 1 hour, depending on if the reaction has stopped or not. Springs are done. I rinse them off with alcohol, and yeah, they get kind of black. I guess that's some kind of oxidation going on, but I don't think that's a problem. I'm just gonna dry them a little bit and then use some WD-40. WD-40 protects from moisture and also prevents corrosion, so that's perfect stuff for this. That's way too much. Just gonna mix it around a bit and yeah, dry it off. Then we can start rebuilding this keyboard, which is the most fun part. If you don't pay attention, it's easy to double up 2 springs in one position like this, and then you end up with too few springs at the end. Keyboard is complete and looking good. Just gonna clean off a little bit remains from my dirty fatty fingers. All that's remaining now is the case, and it came out really nice after being cleaned. A little bit of scratches here and there, and the yellowing of course, but it looks nice. So now I'm gonna repair those broken off clips here, and I am gonna use these 3D printed ones, which actually is designed to go in between those edges there. Only problem is to get them positioned completely correctly so that they fit into the grooves here. Those edges in the grooves are good, so yeah, just need to do some measurements and try to fit these and then glue them in. And the models for these you find on Thingiverse. I printed a bunch a while back ago. I don't remember what I searched for, but it was something like C64 keyboard repair or clips, and it has yeah, this edge that goes into that groove and holds the keyboard in place when it's closed. I found one broken off piece and it goes there, as I can tell by judging on the breaks. I'm gonna glue that in just so I have a reference point to measure from, and I'm using a little plastic glue here that should fuse the piece together with the case. Then fuse the parts together, and it should actually melt the plastic so that it is like it's soldered. So now I can get the reference for the height of this piece. Just made a little mark there, and I can measure it. 10 millimeters. Alright, I'm gonna try and glue this in. Sorry if I block the camera view. Then the hard part, trying to position this correctly and try not to glue my fingers. Yeah, like that. All right, I think that works. Not sure how strong this glue is. It's two different kind of plastics, so it might not function very well, and that's why I'm gonna use this strong epoxy a little bit. After this has set, I'm gonna strengthen these fastenings. Now this is finished. I strengthened the tabs with some extra epoxy, and yeah, this seems to be very solid now. Now does it fit? I actually tested it a little bit before the glue set and adjusted a little bit, and I think this should fit perfectly. Yes, yeah, it does. It stays very nicely in place, and not much slack. Okay, the board is back where it belongs. Just gonna finish off this machine. A few things more to do. Obviously I need to finish off this, and I'm also gonna place a couple of heat sinks here and there. Don't want to over tight the screws because the plastic is obviously a little bit brittle, so need to be careful about that. For the Vic 2 chip, I'm just going to use this original lid as a heatsink. I think it's good enough. Just a little bit of this thermal paste. For the other chips, I'm gonna use these simple heat sinks. This one is one that has been used before, so the glue is not good, but I have this silicone thermal glue that is actually used for gluing on a heat sink that doesn't have adhesive on it. Just a little bit. Place this on the CPU, the 6510. Then a few on the other chips. The SID obviously needs something. And the PLA. Alright. The most important chips have got some heat sinks, and yeah, I think this is how far I want to take it. Obviously there's more you can do to future-proof these machines. You could of course replace the voltage regulators, however these are usually long-lasting, and if they eventually fail, it's easy to get new parts and replace those. You can also get those switching regulators that run cold, so you can replace the 5 volts regulator with a cold one, and then you don't have a need for this heat sink here. And of course there's all kinds of mods you can do. You could insert, you could replace the RF modulator with a modern replacement if you want, if you only need composite video output. You could of course do other mods to improve the video output on this machine. There you have it, the machine is completed. I found a couple of screws that fits. That's the only thing remaining here. And a little note on what I did to this machine. For the slight yellowing, I have decided not to do anything about that now. I'm rather gonna wait until the spring when the sun comes back and we can retro-bright it for free. If I still have the machine then, I might sell it. Alright, there you have it, another Commodore 64 restoration video. One of many. Hopefully you enjoy them as much as I enjoy working on these machines. You can never fix up too much Commodore 64's. So with that, I just want to say thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed this video, and a special thanks to my patrons. See you, bye bye.